Alright folks, for this video I'm gonna read you an essay I've written. So if I'm kind of looking down occasionally, it's because I'm kind of looking down at this. So, alright. Am I queer? These days, I don't know anymore. Due to certain personal events, I'm not sure whether it's wise to identify as queer anymore. There is talk of trans masculinity, which seems to me is an attempt to define a queer masculinity, but I think it's kind of semantic bullshit. And I'm not a lesbian in testosterone either. I'm basically a guy who's been drowning in estrogen and is trying to fix it. Fuck Sappho. There, does that convince you? Jeez, I'm digging myself into a hole here. Sappho was an amazing poet, really. If I'm not queer, it's not necessarily my choice, though. It may be a social imperative which, at least at this moment, makes me really sad. I never transitioned to fit into society or to obtain male privilege. I transitioned to be true to myself, to have a more intimate relationship with my own body, and thus a truer relationship with the world at large. Some of the reasons for my transition you'll never know about. Transitioning. It's weird, wacky even. Transitioning can give you whiplash. I'm a straight dude, and sometimes I envy those trans men who are gay because I like the word queer. But please don't take this as me saying that gay trans men have it easier than me. They don't. I've heard their struggles. Most of the queer community seems to be able to identify me as a straight dude easily enough, sometimes more than I give myself credit for. However, with that comes a certain weight of the word man. Let me explain. To me, the word queer signified that I didn't fit in with the gender normative world at large, and I relished that fact because I thought the gender normative world was really stupid. It seems so much effort to put into trying to fit into some perfect gender representation in hopes by making oneself fit into such a construct, someone would give a fuck about them. This is what fuels the gender machine. All this leads to is an utterly personal disillusionment which is so easy to drown in noise. I would say consumerist culture is there to drown that noise out. You know, more sex, more drugs, more reality shows, just more. And it's never enough. Anything to make one forget that we are in this predicament. Such a machine engenders false relationships which are unsatisfying and devoid of any real human contact. You are never seen as you, but some phantom in someone else's dream. The queer community isn't free of such constructs either. I hear talk about true butch, true femme, true fag, all the time. Such tags can help you get laid, some tags not so much. Maybe we need these labels to function, maybe we don't. Personally, I'm finding them to be a pain in the ass. I guess what I'm getting at is that as I'm passing more and more, a whole other set of assumptions are projected onto me simply because of all the meanings man has tacked onto it. And those meanings vary from community to community, person to person, with no real attempt to go any deeper. One of the assumptions I really hate is boys just want to get in your pants. Talk about invalidating one's feelings. I'll tell you this much. Testosterone hasn't taken away my ability to fall in love or care about someone at a deep level. Ladies, you know how cheap you feel when you're objectified in that bad, creepy kind of way? That's the feeling I get when a girl sees me as some kind of walking aid that is so easily manipulated by my sex drive. For some, this is what seems to pass as definition of masculinity. Who knows? Maybe these mutterings are simply psychic growing pains in the transition process. Am I queer? You have to tell me, I guess. But you know what? I think we're all fucking queers. And I mean that in a good way.